Hi everyone, and welcome to the Fremont Debate Academy. In this video, we'll be covering argument structure or how to make good points. As usual, let's start off with a cartoon. When you're sharpening a pencil, there's a specific process you have to follow. Likewise, in debate, when you're creating arguments, you need to follow a set structure, which is the ARISI format. Keep in mind that in this presentation, we'll be using the words argument, contention, and point interchangeably. However, they all mean the same thing, which is a reason to support your side. First up are the assertions. The assertion is just the title of the point. It summarizes the point in 3 to 7 words. You want to make your assertion as concise and as to the point as possible. Think of it like the title of an essay. Let's do a drill. Which of these assertions work best for the topic owning a pet is a good idea? Pause the video to answer this question on your own and resume it once you have an answer. Keep in mind that there can be multiple right answers. Ready? The first assertion of increases mental health is perfect because it's 3 words long and it describes what the point is going to be about. Without hearing anything else about the point, you can take a guess at what it'll talk about. It's going to talk about mental health. The second assertion doesn't work because while it is concise, it doesn't summarize the point, but rather it simply restates the topic. Remember, a point should be a reason why the topic is right, not the topic itself. The third assertion also works because it's short and it also summarizes the point. You know the point is going to talk about relaxation. The fourth assertion, while it does summarize the point, doesn't work because it's over 3 to 7 words. The assertion is meant to be a really concise summary of what you're going to talk about, similar to the title of an essay. The second part of the ARISI format is the reasoning, which is the explanation behind the assertion. For the assertion increases mental health, your reasoning could be something like owning a pet increases your mental health because you get a loving companion. You can go for walks together, you can cuddle with your pet, you can play catch and spend all the time you want together. All of these activities then benefit your mental health. You're not using any specific evidence and you're not referencing any other website. Rather, you're simply using your own words to explain why your point makes sense, and you're focusing on logic. The third part of the ARISI format is the evidence, which is simply data or statistics to support your point. You can use statistics, quotes, or studies for evidence. Make sure to use multiple pieces of evidence as that will make your argument stronger. The more evidence you have, coupled with strong reasoning, the more powerful your point will be. Also, make sure that your evidence ties back to the point. Just because your evidence seems fancy doesn't mean that it actually supports your side. You need to specifically say why the evidence supports your case. Let's try and find evidence for the following point. The topic is owning a pet is a good idea. Pause the video, read through the point, and search online for some evidence. When you have a few pieces of evidence, feel free to unpause the video again. Ready? Here are some sample pieces of evidence. Notice how these are all statistics, quotes, or studies. Also notice that all pieces of evidence have where they were taken from or the sources under them. The first piece of evidence is 95% of pet owners think the animal is a member of their family, according to a 2015 Harris poll. The second piece of evidence is owning a pet decreases depression, PTSD symptoms, and malnutrition from a 2016 study. The third piece of evidence is children with autism who had a guinea pig were more social and showed fewer signs of stress, according to a 2013 Purdue study. The first piece of evidence is a direct statistic supporting your point. The second and third pieces of evidence are both studies that also support your point. The next step of ARISI is the source, which is simply where you got your evidence from. Make sure to use high-quality sources. Some examples of excellent sources include newspapers, journals, and universities. Don't use Wikipedia and Google as sources, as anyone can add to these sites. You can use these sites to get ideas about your point, but never directly cite them as sources. The next rule is to pick which sources are credible, from the New York Times, Harvard University, Google, and social media. Pause the video and unpause when you're ready. All right, the New York Times is an extremely credible newspaper, which is famed for its accuracy and its high quality of reporting. Harvard University is a prestigious university many people consider to be among the best for research. Remember that for Google, anyone can add to it, so don't cite Google. Rather, when you search something up, you can cite the page you end up on, for example, a Washington Post article. Finally, social media in of itself isn't a source. Rather, you can use social media to find quotes from public officials. For example, if a politician said on Twitter that the cat helps them get through tough times, you would cite that politician, not Twitter itself. The last section of a RISI is the impacts. Impacts are an extremely important part of a RISI as they explain why your arguments matter. In the rest of the point, you've established something is true. For example, you have established that owning a pet increases your mental health and makes you feel happy. Now the question your judge is going to ask is simply put, so what? Why is that important? While it might seem obvious, you need to spell it out for the judge and explain why exactly it's important. The judge should care about the argument because of X, Y, and Z. Some examples of common impacts include life, poverty, the environment, or the economy. Once you get the point to one of these four issues, the impact itself is pretty obvious. For example, with the dogs example, when people own dogs, they're more likely to go on walks, meaning they're less likely to use their cars, helping the environment. If the environment was to collapse, people wouldn't be able to grow food anymore. You took a relatively simple concept, which is being able to go on walks, to something the judge will absolutely care about, which is the environment collapsing or food not being grown. Make sure to be extremely thorough in the impact section. Even if the rest of your point is extremely strong, but you have a weak impact, the point itself is going to be weak. Impacts will make or break your arguments, so make sure you put time into them. Finally, putting it all together, you have a RISI. You have the assertion, reasoning, evidence, source, and impact. The assertion is simply the title of your argument. The reasoning is explaining the logic of the argument. The evidence is data or statistics to back your reasoning. The source is where you got your evidence from, and the impact is why your argument matters. Together, a RISI allows you to present points to the judge in a manner that they will understand. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please leave them in a comment below. If you enjoyed watching this video, please like and subscribe for more videos, and best of luck on your debate journey. Have a nice day.